Hey y'all, here we are out in the garage finishing up with a little back in the day video there. Me and Scotty Fiesler. I'm on a dirt bike motor. This Daytona 96. He's on what is that thing? It's a zip cart with a Rotax rotary valve. 125. We're racing 125. So here we are at the scale. Look, I don't know if this is coming in or not, but look, that's me with hair. And it's brown or black or something, I don't know. But there I am after the race. I look like a punk kid. We wanted to show you what we got going here with the chassis. We're going to use the 40 millimeter axle and bearings and cassettes here on this new Kart build. So what we need to do is we need to remove the old stuff, right? And before we can actually just cut this stuff off and get rid of it, we're going to put the bearings back in, put the spindles back on, put a solid piece of stock across here and get the spindles square to one another. And then, although we don't have an axle and bearings and cassettes for this, we can at least measure from the front axle to here, and then split it in half and get a wheelbase, a round number for wheelbase before we whack this stuff off. And are we going to set it back to that exact wheelbase? It doesn't. I don't know. It depends. Really depends on what that number is. We know what our cart is set up at, and we don't know. It depends on what this one says. So maybe we do, maybe we don't. But once we get the wheelbase things squared away, we can cut this stuff off. As you can see, I've marked it here. We're going to cut the chassis off here, and we're going to remove all this junk. And what we're going to do, because the cart you see here, it was cracked and it was welded underneath here. I think I showed you some of that when we were doing the cleaning up of the chassis. When it was a Reed air-cooled motor ran on this side, it had cracked here, and right in front of where this brace comes down. So it was cracked in around through here, and we want to make sure, because we're going to be making more weight with a 125 shifter, more power, more torque. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the chassis off so we can stuff tubing inside of here to strengthen this here, and then we'll plug weld the tubes in to strengthen it on either side. And then what we'll do is we'll leave a little bit of that tube hanging out, and we'll fit this piece back on and then weld it back on, so it looks original, but it'll have it will have been RPM'd, if you know what I'm saying. So there you go. We'll bring you some of that when we get to it. But otherwise, if the chassis was just straight like most are, we wouldn't have to do that. Are we concerned about any protrusion or penetration from welds into the inside? More than anything, you'll get some distortion of the tube from heat itself, from welding. But I think we're going to be okay. We'll probably stick something down here on a long arbor, some type of flap wheel or something, just to clean it up and make sure, and we'll just bevel the leading edge of the tubing, and we'll hammer the darn thing home. We need that. We don't want to put a larger wall tubing over the top of it like a Band-Aid. We'd rather fill it up on the inside, and it stiffens the cart. Not so much in the back as it would in the front, but there you go. I don't want to give away too many secrets, so that's it. That's the work we're going to play with today. We're playing around with some back-in-the-day video. Looks like we're at Mid-Ohio, 1997 now, so looks a bit moist there in the morning. So there you go. There's the hot rod. Hey, it's got a new motor on it too. Look at that. More of that later. So that's it, folks. We will talk to you all later. Have a good time. We'll bring you back some more in a little bit. See you later.